What is in your fridge? It's the daily battle. What are you going to make for dinner? We've got an idea for you tonight. Chef Mark Schneider with the TSTC Culinary Arts Department is in the studio with us. We've looked in our fridge. We've got to figure out what's for dinner tonight. And you've got such a neat recipe for us today. We're going to do lasagna roll-ups. I got to tell you, I love lasagna, but I'm intimidated by making lasagna. It seems complicated.
No, actually, this is a really easy dish. It's actually a lasagna roll-up. We do it. It's fun for me. It's fun for the kids, and it's pretty quick to do. And you should have almost everything either in your fridge or pantry to start.
I love it. Well, you've already got some ground beef going.
I do.
Should we go ahead and have this all the way browned before we start adding our spices in?
Actually, I like to take it about 3/4 the way, and I'm going to ask you to hand me the onions.
All right.
And the garlic.
There we go. Now, when you're actually cooking at home, do you think it's helpful to go ahead and get out all the stuff and divide it into the portions like you have today?
It is. I mean, it makes cooking so much easier. It actually makes it a little bit cleaner. So your kitchen's not such a mess when you get to the end of the day. And if you're cooking with your family or kids, it actually gives them something to do. Can you put these in little bowls for me? Or can you hand me the little bowls? And it's real fun for them to do as well. And I love cooking with the family.
Gets everybody involved.
I just need the salt and the oregano.
Okay, now let me make sure which one of these.
Actually, the oregano's you've got right there in your hand.
Ah, very nice. So much of the time when I'm cooking with ground beef, I don't add all of these other spices into it. How important is this for your final product?
It really is important. I mean, a lot of people will just cook their ground beef without any seasonings, and you get kind of a bland dish. This is actually adding the spicings into the meat. So every time you take a bite and you get the meat or the little ground beef in there with you, it's going to have a nice seasoning to it. Works out really, really well. Also for this dish, I kind of want to make sure I break it up fairly fine. It just makes the sauce a little bit nicer, a little bit more refined sauce. If you like it a little bit more chunky, that's up to you as well.
Oh, okay. And you're deciding that just by breaking it up with the spoon?
Right. Okay. Exactly so. Now with ground with ground beef, there's always a lot of fat that comes off it, which we want to remove. We don't want to have a greasy sauce, and that's kind of what we're doing right here. So just in a typical colander, we're just going to drain it out. Okay.
Got it.
We're going to put the pan right back on. If you really are concerned with fat, you can wipe that out with a paper towel. If you like a little extra flavor, like I do, I'm going to keep it in there.
What percentage of ground beef do you buy? What the fat to the...
It really is a personal choice. Okay. I personally just use an 80-20 ground chuck. I like that little extra fat in there. My doctor probably doesn't. But I mean, you could definitely do this with a leaner content, a 90-10, or even a turkey. You could even do it with a turkey as well.
I like that idea.
So that's what I like. I like to make sure that recipes are definitely generated for health-conscious people as well. Now we have this back in the pan. I'm going to ask you to hand me that tomato sauce.
All right.
And that's going to finish our sauce pretty much. This will simmer for about 10 minutes, which is not long at all, especially in cooking terms. So it's a pretty quick tomato sauce. Now, this could actually be a spaghetti sauce. It could be a lasagna sauce. It could be, you know, a tortellini sauce, whatever you like. And I usually try to scoop it into the middle and then stir back in so I don't kind of spill the sides.
I like what you say, that this sauce is really kind of a go-to sauce. You can, once you have this base down, you can use it for a lot of different stuff.
You can use it for a lot of different principles and that kind of jazz. What we're going to do now is we're going to actually mix the cheese filling.
Terrific.
And what we've done here is we've just taken regular cottage cheese, and I'll probably have you hand them to me, and we've drained it. We just put it into a colander, and we just drained it so it's not as liquidy, which is going to make for a little bit.
Kind of this one in?
We want to put about half the mozzarella cheese in. Okay. And if you're a little over, a little under, that's fine. We're just going to use a little bit for a topping.
My Italian family calls this mutts. They love the mutts.
The mutts. We're going to add in the Parmesan cheese.
Whole thing?
The whole thing.
Okay.
We're going to add in the dried garlic. The dried bait.
There we go. Get that in there, this in there.
And the dried parsley. And then the 2 eggs.
Ah, eggs in the cheese. This is something people probably forget too, to do the spices in with the cheese.
Right, and again, we're adding flavor everywhere we go. And all we're doing here is we're just going to mix it up until it's all nice and well combined with the egg. The egg is going to act like a binder and kind of hold everything together for us when it's in the lasagna. If you want to add some more spices, you could add some fennel to this. You could add some black pepper to this. You could add some fresh parsley to that as well if you want a little more color.
I want to see how we're going to roll this up.
Okay. So we're just going to take our lasagna noodles.
Okay, and you've already boiled those.
Yeah, they're already done. They're already boiled off. We're just going to lay one down. We can take our mixture and spoon that right on. You don't have to get a lot because it's gonna spread out as you go. If we can put that on the other side. And it's okay if you want to be really nice and neat and be more like a professional chef. We can come down and pat it down.
This is the real trick.
Right, but you don't have to do that
Okay,
because we're going to roll it up.
This is the main part that I'm really interested
And this
to
is
see
the
you
fun
do.
part for my kids. This is what they love to do. We're just gonna, and you don't want to go tight. You just want to go nice and loose. Roll it up, and you want to make sure you keep it seam side down. And then with the sauce, what we're going to do here, I'm just going to use this spoon as well, is once this is simmered down, we're going to spoon half the sauce into our baking dish.
Okay.
And that's just going to give it a nice little base for it to rest on. And then we're going to roll however many you want.
Up.
Yeah,
Put
I think
those
this
in
recipe
there.
makes 12.
And then you do more sauce on top.
And then we're going to put a little bit more sauce on top.
And then more cheese on top.
Of course, you got to have the cheese.
And then I love how this turns out. We can see this finished product here. We'll see if we can get a close-up of this finished product. And it's amazing how quickly you were able to put this together, too.
Sure. The longest part on this dish is actually the sauce, which is 10 minutes.
Terrific.
So I can actually probably do this from start to finish in about 15 to 20 minutes in the oven. It's 30 minutes at 350 degrees, and put it with a nice salad and a breadstick, and you got a beautiful meal for the evening.
Beautiful dinner. Chef Mark Schneider with the TSTC Culinary Arts Department. We've got the recipe for this dish online at momseveryday.com.